So today I have for you guys what has to be one of the most controversial videos I've ever seen in my life. This video right here has been shared to Twitter thousands of times, it's been viewed by millions of people, and at first you had this one side very outraged, and then when some apparent receipts were provided, this whole other side came out, and now they're even more enraged than the original side was before. This all went down in New York City, after a pregnant nurse and 4 or 5 young men got into an altercation over one of those public bikes that you see in the downtown of most major cities. You know, the types that you can rent off your phone, you unlock the bike, and you go on your way.
Go, record it.
Help! Help me! Please help me!
It's not your bike.
Please help me!
It's not your bike. It's not your bike.
Please help me! Help! Please get off me!
Wait, what the f*** is going on, bro?
Please get off me!
Yo, don't not take it, bro.
Now you're not getting the bike, bro.
Now you're not getting the bike, bro.
Help!
You're not getting the
Get off
bike.
me!
I'm
Dude.
not. Bro,
Why you took his phone? What's wrong with you?
stupid as something. You're not
Don't touch
touching
his
my
phone.
phone.
Do not touch his phone.
I'm not touching you. You putting your stomach on my hand.
No, dude, stop. No, dude, stop. No. I said no. I said sit down.
Please help me!
She's just crying.
You're not crying. I got
Stupid.
I got
It's
your
my
video.
bike.
Off!
Drunk.
Wait, you pulled it out? Hey, Hassan, you pulled it out? Hassan,
I don't give a f***.
Hassan, you pulled it out?
This is my bike. It's on my account. Please move.
All right, so why don't we reset the bike?
I'm not resetting the bike.
It's his. It's
on my
his.
Reset it and pull it out on your account.
You are acting.
This is my
Stop
bike.
fake crying.
Guys,
She's fake crying. Stop fake crying.
Hey, stop touching me. I don't touch you.
Hold up.
Hey, stop touching me. Stop touching me.
Why don't you take this bike?
Stop touching me.
I will.
Exactly. So take it.
Get out of here.
So take it.
Buddy, you're stupid ass. Get out of here. Dumbass. The baby gonna come out.
Wait. How you stop crying? Not a tear came down, miss. Not a tear came down.
Okay, so when this video first came out, people were calling this woman things like City Bike Karen. A lot of major news media outlets were reporting on this story, and basically saying that she was trying to get this group of young black men in trouble with her apparent crocodile tears and her cries for help. Obviously, it appears that there was some confusion over who truly rented this bike out, and that was all we really knew until her lawyer provided these receipts, and that really flipped this whole story upside down. So as you guys can see right here, this is a screenshot from the video where you can see this specific, serial number type of thing on the bike, because obviously these individual bikes need some sort of identification when they're being checked in and out, because if something happens to one of these bikes, they need to be able to hold the individual who checked it out responsible. So he's showing this number 5603915, and then he shows the receipt for this same bike 5603915. The date matches the day which the video was taken, and it of course shows the receipt for $0, like if someone just took the bike out and then immediately put it back. And I guess what they're saying is this is a receipt from later that day when she was actually able to obtain one of these bikes and presumably ride it home after work. And so once this came out, a lot of people did a complete 180 and jumped onto her side, and it has now been one of these situations that has become insanely political from both the left and the right's perspective. And so now you basically got a lot of people on the left saying, oh, these images look sketchy, a lot of things have been redacted, like the time these bikes were taken out. And on the other hand, you got people on the right saying this is absolute definitive proof that she was the one who checked out and unlocked that bike, and so she must have been 100% in the right. And this woman was placed on administrative leave. This is actually a quote from the hospital she was working at.
We are aware of the video involving a healthcare provider off duty and away from the hospital campus, meaning they're disavowing her totally. The incident in the video is disturbing. The provider is currently out on leave and will remain on leave pending a review, so they seem to think that there's a chance she's done something wrong. As a healthcare system, we're committed to providing an environment for our patients and staff that's free from discrimination of any kind. It almost sounds like they've convicted her of racism without any facts, and at least the facts you provided go the whole other direction. Why do you think they rushed to judgment so quickly?
And so yeah, this was during an interview with the actual lawyer on the case. He's actually an employment lawyer who's basically trying to ensure that this woman's reputation can be saved to the point where she will be employable in the current day and also the future. Besides this clip right here, there's really 2 other points of emphasis that I want to highlight from this interview. Like I said, a lot of huge media outlets were covering this story, and they were calling this woman things like racist, they were calling her a Karen, and now it sounds like there might be some defamation lawsuits inbound.
Is there any cause of action you guys are contemplating against some of these media organizations unless they tell the story fairly or at least issue some kind of retraction about what they called and did to your client and she now is getting death threats?
At this point, the bell has rung. Every news organization that has called her Karen, called her a racist, called her a thief, we will be looking at them for purposes of filing defamation claims. And the purpose of that is to ensure that no individual is ever subject to the disaster that my client is presently going through.
Now, if this all actually goes to court, it could set a serious precedent about all these different videos of people being recorded in public and narratives being driven around those individuals and around those specific videos. Because if you can lose a defamation case over calling someone a Karen, that's gonna set a pretty insane precedent. Now, this is also something I found very interesting from the interview, when the reporter asked the lawyer what their plan of legal action is gonna be against the men featured in that video.
We don't want charges for these individuals. My client has no ill will for these individuals. In fact, she wishes them the best. We think this is just a terrible mistake, a misunderstanding. We don't want the same scrutiny and misery that is applied to my client to go to these young men. They are, after all, young men. Our focus is, one, clearing her name, two, ensuring she has a job, and three, going off to the media that effectively poured gasoline onto the fire.
So at this point, they clearly have no plans to sue the men from the video, and they're basically saying our course of action from here is going to be to go after these large media agencies and possibly receive some massive settlements. There has also now been a GoFundMe started for this nurse. Nearly $100,000 has been donated to a GoFundMe campaign for a hospital worker in New York after a video of her arguing with a man over a rental bike was posted on social media. A GoFundMe page was launched by Bob Rowe, who described himself as her uncle. He wrote that JAMARI, who is white, had been unfairly painted as a racist Karen. And they also note here that the man who was also trying to take the bike off that rack has not spoken publicly about this incident. The fundraiser's goal was set to $96,000, and once they surpassed that, the new goal has now been $120,000. Like, goddamn, I'm about to go out there and frame some sort of crime. I'm gonna be on my Jussie Smollett shit trying to get a bag. But in all seriousness, this has been a very polarizing situation. And like I said, we could see some serious legal precedent being set when it comes to these defamation court cases that they possibly might file against these news organizations. This would completely change how we look at these types of videos that are often taken in public, that are growing more and more popular with apps like TikTok coming out, YouTube Shorts. I mean, these clips can literally appear on social media and spread like wildfire in the matter of hours, and that is not really something that we had ever seen before. But y'all let me know what you guys think about the situation down below. If there's any major updates, I will continue to cover them here on my channel, so y'all make sure you subscribe. But as you guys know, it's been your boy the Tan Superman, and some of the polarizing videos out here need to be covered, so I'm out. Peace!